Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how these incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, I was going to do this before Christmas, but I decided no, I'm going to enjoy the holidays. I'm not going to list this thing up. And even then, even here, I am just going to hit the highlights. Now, back when 40, I guess it's going to be 47, but we used to call him 45. But Trump was currently, he is the ingoing president, and they were looking to find his attorney general, and Matt Gaetz' name came up. Now, if you know Matt Gaetz has had a lot of issues and stuff like that, dealing with at one time what was reported that he had some closeness with girls under the ages of 18. So there was that type of history, because he's a representative from Florida, where he resigned his post. Now, there was a congressional investigation on Matt Gaetz, and once they had put his name out there for attorney general, this investigation came back up, because at first the Republicans said that they were not going to put this information out. It was nobody's business, yada yada yada. However, once his name was fished around to be the attorney general, then this information was coming up and coming out, and apparently Matt Gaetz was like, no, I can't have all of this come up and come out. So he resigned his position. However, the report was released. Now, I'm not going to go over this entire report, but I will hit some of the highlights. So let me share my screen. Let me share my screen here. Let me get rid of some of these overlays, because I just want. Right. Here we go. Ooh. And y'all hit that like button. So good. This is good. I think everyone can see that. Good. All right, so let me go up a little bit, because I was just going to the thing of contest so that you all will see. This is by the 118th Congress, second session, House of Representatives. It doesn't give the whole report. It's like 118 dash something, 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 but the something, something, something is not there. It says, in the matter of allegations relating to Representative Matt Gaetz, report of the Committee on Ethics. And so this was December 23rd, 2024, referred to the House calendar and ordered to be printed. Let's see. Let me make sure everything is adopted by the Committee on Ethics on December 10th, 2024, the 118th Congress, second session, U.S. House of Representatives, Committee on Ethics in the matter of allegations relating to Representative Matt Gaetz, December 23rd, 2024. Mr. Guest from the Committee on Ethics submitted the following report with dissenting reviews, with the dissenting views. This is the committee. So this is the whole committee. I'm not going to read them all. I'm just going to leave them up here long enough for you all to be able to read them. But it's a varied list of committee members, North, South, East, and Midwest. It just has the staff and everything on there. So let's continue. And then, this is the official stationery with the letter of transmittal. And we will go over this. It says it's from the 118th Congress, U.S. House of Representatives, Committee on Ethics. This is the letter of transmittal. It was written on December 23rd, 2024, and written to the Honorable Kevin McCumber, acting clerk of the House of Representatives, H-154, the Capitol, Washington, D.C., with the zip. It says, Dear Mr. McCumber, pursuant to clauses 3A, 2, and 3B of Rule 11 of the rules of the, or is that 9? Anyway, of the House of Representatives, I herewith transmit the attached report with dissenting views in the matter of allegations relating to Matt Gaetz. And it's signed by Michael Guest, the chairman. So here is the table of contents. Again, we're not going to review this whole thing, but you see the table of contents. It has the introduction, the procedural history, relevant laws, rules, and other applicable standards of conduct. It talks about the factual background, talks about the findings, and then it has the conclusion. Okay. Conclusion statement under House Rule 913, Clause 3C. Views of the chairman, Michael Guest, on behalf of the dissenting committee members. Is there any more? There's appendixes and all of this stuff. What we're gonna focus on is the factual background. So we are going to go to page 10. All right, let's see. Because that's where they said it. This page 10. Ah. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. Here's the factual background. Now, it has a lot of subtext down at the bottom, and I am not going to read all of this stuff down in here, but I'm just going to read the overview of stuff so you all know what's going on. It says allegation of S misconduct and drug use. On March 30th, 2021, the New York Times reported that Representative Gaetz was under investigation by the DOJ for possible violation of S trafficking laws. The investigation reportedly related to allegation that Representative Gaetz had a relationship of the sexual nature with a 17-year-old and paid for her to travel with him. On April 1st, 2021, additional reporting indicated the federal investigation, including allegations involving cash payments, the use of illegal substances, the recruitment of women online for sex, and the use of campaign funds to pay for the travel for women. The DOJ's investigation was part of an ongoing inquiry involving a former county tax collector in Florida named Joel Greenberg, who was sentenced to 11 years in prison in 2022. Representative Gaetz' arraignment with Joel Greenberg. The committee record shows that shortly after he was sworn into Congress in 2017, Representative Gaetz became friends with Mr. Greenberg, who had also recently taken office as the Seminole County tax collector. According to Mr. Greenberg, the two met at the house of Christopher Dorworth, a Florida lobbyist. Mr. Greenberg and Representative Gaetz frequently attended parties and other gatherings with young women in attendance. Many of these women were initially contacted by Mr. Greenberg via the website seekingarrangement.com, now seeking.com. And Mr. Greenberg subsequently introduced the women to Representative Gaetz. Seekingarrangements.com advertised itself as a sugar dating website that primarily connected older men and younger women seeking mutual beneficial relationships. Wow. The website was generally understood by many of the women interviewed by the committee to involve at a minimum an exchange of companionship for money. And that let me finish, because that's like an escort service, isn't it? There have been prosecutions against individuals for S trafficking that originated with contacts made through seekingarrangement.com or similar websites. And some have called for the websites to be shut down due to its facilitation of the prostitute. Platforms such as seekingarrangement.com are known to make it easier for traffickers to exploit victims and connect with buyers. The committee did not receive any evidence that Representative Gaetz had his own account on seekingarrangements.com. Mr. Greenberg indicated he frequently showed the site to Representative Gaetz and that he provided his login credentials to Representative Gaetz. Ah. So that way it wasn't going to show up that he was, but it wasn't going to show up that Representative Gaetz was actually on the website using it because he didn't have a login. He didn't have any login credentials. But his friend, Mr. Greenberg, was very happy to allow him to use his login credentials. Interesting. According to Mr. Greenberg, he and Representative Gaetz would split the cost of drugs, hotels, and girls. For example, the committee reviewed evidence that such activity occurred in July 2017. Specifically, evidence showed that Representative Gaetz, Mr. Greenberg, and others gathered at a rental property located in the Brickell neighborhood of Miami for a weekend beginning July 7, 2017. Representative Gaetz and Mr. Greenberg also spent time in Fort Lauderdale during the Miami stay, during which time Mr. Representative Gaetz withdrew at least $1,200 in cash from 3 different accounts at a single ATM. On June 22nd, 2017, Representative Gaetz paid $6,308 for that rental booking. On July 9th, 2017, Mr. Greenberg paid Representative Gaetz $1,600 by check. Mr. Greenberg stated the check was reimbursement for a share of the rental. Mr. Greenberg also noted that they met up with another individual for dinner that weekend, and he shared a photo of Representative Gaetz himself and other individuals on the social media July 8, 2017. The committee received evidence confirming that Representative Gaetz at times personally made payments to women who attended parties with him and Mr. Greenberg using various peer-to-peer electronic payment services as well as checks and cash. The committee record also indicates that Mr. Greenberg sometimes paid women for having sex with Representative Gaetz and was sometimes reimbursed by Representative Gaetz. Witnesses indicate that there were times where a lump sum would be sent to one woman who would then distribute the money evenly among those who attended the party. Likewise, in one instance, Representative Gaetz sent $400 to Mr. Greenberg with the note, "Hit up hit up victim A." Mr. Greenberg then sent 2 women payments totaling $400, including victim A. On August 19th, 2020, Mr. Greenberg was indicted on charges related to his misuse of motor vehicle records and identification documents in his role as Seminole County tax collector in his attempt to falsely accuse a political opponent of being a PDF file. He was additionally charged with trafficking of a child, victim A, wire fraud, bribery of a public official, theft of government property, and related charges. He pleaded guilty to 6 charges, including sex trafficking of victim A, in May 2021, but his sentencing was delayed until December 2022 due to his ongoing cooperation in several of the matters. He was telling everybody who was there, when they was there, how they was there, and what they were doing. That's why his sentence was delayed. As a part of his cooperation, he provided information that was ultimately corroborated and ended in successful prosecutions. All right. Again, we're not going to read it. So they're talking about in number 2, the Representative Gaetz interaction with women and how he met through Mr. Greenberg. They gave us a pretty good overview of that. So we figured that they communicated through the with the, as far as the payments go, through PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App, and all of these other different things. So we're pretty good on that. They have a chart that summarized payments by Representative Gaetz to Mr. Greenberg, and I'm gonna let you all visually look at that. I'm not gonna go over each one, give you enough time to look at that and to see how much of these payments were. This is a lot. You see total amounts of 63,000. That's a lot of money. Let's continue. The committee's records indicate that Representative Gaetz was in a long-term relationship with Woman One, and therefore some of the payments may have been of a legitimate nature. However, as discussed further below, Woman One asserted her Fifth Amendment right when asked whether the payments to her from Representative Gaetz were for uh, uh, copulation and for drugs, or for her to pass on to other such persons. Based on the assertion combined with evidence received from other sources, the committee found substantial reason to believe that most of these payments were for such activity. The committee was not able to speak with every woman who received payments uh, that were suspected of being part of the illicit activity. Several women initially were responsive to the committee's outreach, but later told the committee they would not voluntarily participate. All right. It says here Representative Gaetz refused to answer questions about his relationship with the women involved. That there was, however, evidence that he understood and shared many of the women's transactional views of their arrangement. Representative Gaetz, and like I said, I'm skipping around because I'm not going to read all of this because we pretty much get the gist of what's going on here. And again, that Mr. Greenberg was arrested for this, and he's now in jail for this. And so they're going over clearly all the information from all the different women. And plus, and let's be clear, we're seeing ages so far that as I was scrolling, it's going anywhere from 25 to 17. So he's dealing with women regarding in that age group. All right. So then we have messages they have between Joel Greenberg and a 20-year-old woman. And we'll just continue to go down. I'll let you look at that and read that. And they have plenty other evidence and things like that. They have a lot of evidence in this article because again, it's 42 pages. We are not going to read it. So what I want to do is get down to the conclusion and to see what their conclusion is. And this is online. You can go to the AP article on this, and you could get a copy of this report. Let me share this tab with you all real quick. This is the AP article that has this information. Written by Farnoosh Amari and Lisa Mascaro. And what I'll do, I'm going to read this article because it'll probably be much more clear. They do it. They give us most of the information. I still will go through here and get down to the conclusion. We will read that conclusion, but we will go over this article really quickly. But really, really, really quickly. So they have they have a lot of allegations with him here. Oh, child, this is a mess. And these are the people, you know, the one thing that bothers me is that when these people are doing all of these things that the average person could not get away with, you know, things are, you know, they can just resign their position. There's really nothing going on as far as laws and whatnot that they can be convicted while they're running. Here's the conclusion. It's not too much, but let's read this article. Basically, the conclusion says as follows. Based on the above, the committee, okay, let's do this. The committee determined, hold up. Oh, the committee I am so sorry. Here we go. The committee determined that Representative Gaetz' attempts to mislead and deter the committee from investigating him implicated federal criminal crimes. Excuse me. The committee determined that Representative Gaetz' attempts to mislead and deter the committee from investigating him implicated federal criminal laws relating to false statements and obstruction of Congress. Even if Representative Gaetz' obstructive conduct in this investigation did not rise to the level of criminal violation, it was certainly inconsistent with the requirements that members act in a manner that reflect credibility upon the House in violation of House Rule 23, Clause 1. Based on the above, the committee determined that there is substantial evidence that Representative Gaetz violated House rules and other standards of conduct prohibiting prostitute, the R word, drug use, impermissible gifts, special favors or privileges, and obstruction of Congress. So that is that. We're going to get to the article. The article is going to give us the information, more information succinctly as we need it, and then we'll conclude this video. Again, y'all hit that like button. What are y'all thinking about all this mess going on with Matt Gaetz? Because it's a mess to me that all this stuff is going on, and he is not the only congressman, and it's not a Republican and Democrat thing, because there are Democrats that are going through here doing some god awful stuff, whether they're violating campaign laws, spending money like they're not supposed to spend that money, doing special favors with their office. There's a whole lot of stuff up here, and it just bothers me that like I said, they want to put their foot in their neck on the average person, but then when they're doing something, it's like, oh, well, I can just plead the fifth. Oh, I could just, you all can't investigate me, and they do all this stuff. The House Ethics Committee on Monday accused Matt Gaetz of regularly paying for copulation, including one with a 17-year-old girl, and purchasing and using illicit drugs as a member of Congress, as lawmakers released the conclusion of a nearly 4-year investigation. Because remember, Donald Trump had decided that he wanted Matt Gaetz to be his attorney general. As lawmakers released the conclusion of a nearly 4-year investigation that helped sink his nomination for Attorney General. The 37-page by the bipartisan panel included explicit details of ex-field parties and vacation that Gaetz, now 42, took part in from 2017 to 2020, while the Republican represented Florida's Western Panhandle. Congressional investigators, including Gaetz, violated multiple state laws related to sex misconduct while in their office, though not federal sex trafficking laws. They also found that Gaetz knowingly and willfully sought to impede and obstruct the committee's work. The committee determined there was substantial evidence of Representative Gaetz violated House rules and other standards of conduct prohibiting prostitution, statutory R-ing, illicit drug use, impermissible gifts, special favors or privileges, and obstruction of Congress. Before the report came out, Gaetz denied any wrongdoing and criticized the committee's progress. Giving funds to someone you're dating, this is a quote, that they didn't ask for, and that isn't charge for X is now prostitute, he says, posted on X, formerly known as Twitter. There is a reason they did this to me in a Christmas Eve report and not a courtroom of any kind where I can present evidence and challenge witnesses. Gaetz, who first was elected in 2017, spent the majority of his time in Washington, enmeshed in scandal that ultimately derailed his selection by President-elect Donald Trump to lead the Justice Department. Gaetz abruptly resigned from Congress last month. His political future is uncertain, although Gaetz has indicated interest in running for open Senate seat in Florida. The committee painted a damning portrait of Gaetz' conduct using dozens of pages of exhibit, including text messages, financial records, travel receipts, checks, online payments, to document a party and drug-fueled lifestyle. The committee said it compiled the evidence after issuing 29 subpoenas for documents and testimony and contacted more than 24 witnesses. In addition to soliciting prostitution, the report says that Gaetz accepted gifts, including transportation and lodging, in connection with a 2018 trip to the Bahamas in excess of permissible amounts. All right. That's all we're going to read on that, y'all. What do y'all think about this? He is an elected official. He has resigned his position. So that means that looks like the governor of Florida is going to have to pick somebody to go into his position. Mm, mm. All right, y'all. I don't have anything other to say. Is like I said, they spend a lot of time putting their foot on the average neck of the neck of the average citizen, but then when they get caught doing what they're not supposed to do, then it's it's a witch hunt. It's not really what it seems to be. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Again, leave it down in the comments. What do you all think? Do you think this is par for the course for people who run for Congress? Because like I said, it's not just a Republican thing, and it's not just it's a Republican and a Democratic thing. We have problems with issues of this type of nature going on both parties. So I mean, as a society, what are we willing to do? What are the things that we're willing to do so that these types of things are not prevalent? Y'all let me know down in the comments. All right, people. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you cannot stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye bye.